Sorry, guys. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're live again. We have got a full house tonight. So, of course, we've got our great friend Kerry, who's obviously a psychic medium. All of her links will be below for all of her Etsy shop and all the things that she does. Obviously, of course, the regular crew, Hefty, Nick, and Marty. We're all here. And tonight we are joined special guests. We've got, obviously, Lord Drew. Who's also on Facebook. Nick, I think you're tagging people, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm writing it right now.
Okay, so Nick's going to do a post on his Facebook for everyone. Obviously, Drew, he's a medium. He does some amazing things on his channel. He does readings for people and that. And actually, Amy's had a reading from him as well, haven't you? That was very touching for you, wasn't it? So
yeah, we mentioned my grandma.
So yeah, and I don't know you guys at the bottom, so obviously we've only just met. So do you want to introduce yourselves, you guys?
Yeah, well, my name's Philip Williams. I'm a co-founder along with Arjan of Red Rejects Paranormal. We also do Beyond Dimensions, which is behind me there, which is anything that we talk about. It could be about anything mundane, subjects, paranormal. Could be about it could be about movies or religion. But we also co-host with DNTV. We Drew.
Wow. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one tonight, guys. So everyone in the chat, we will try and keep up with what you're saying, and we will try and make sure everyone gets a chance speaking tonight. But yeah, we'll go for it. So tonight we are talking about the Demon House. Now, there's lots of demon houses out there, but the one we're going to specifically be talking about is the demon house that Zach Bagans bought from Ghost Adventures. That is in Indiana, which is obviously down the road from where Nick is. Nick, you're 30 minutes?
Just like an hour away, because I live literally right next to the Illinois-Indiana border. So right over the state border, Gary's right there, which is where the demon house, was, not is.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
So I think before we start, I would say so who's seen it, Alan? Kerry, you've seen it. Hefty hasn't. Nick, have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it about a year after it came out.
Marty, you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
And you guys haven't seen it, have you?
No, I've seen bits about it, but no, I haven't seen it properly. No.
Okay, so first off, who would say first off the bat, do you think it's real or not real? Do you think it's a big hoax, or do you think this is a genuine documentary? Just what's your first thoughts on it?
It's a big question.
Yeah, it's a big question, but put it out there. What's your initial thoughts before we get into it? So, Kerry, what's yours? What's your obviously because you love Zach Bagans.
Yeah. Oh, I just tell everyone. Yeah. Put that to one side.
I wish you never came on the show again, though.
with no bias.
He might see this. Bit of a wedding ring off.
You never know.
Wait, where's my tie? Yeah, right.
No, he's going to need the tie. Yeah, I think it's got story behind it. So, like I was saying to you in the green room, it's made for a TV channel, a show. So some of it might be a bit more dramatized, but I do believe, from watching what I was watching and things that I've learned over the years, that this could possibly be very true.
Yeah.
Just the bits that I've seen, I did because I noticed a lot of people posting about it in one of those groups, and so I just had a quick check into it, and I like looking at ley lines, and I do know that area. A lot of ley lines in UK. I've seen a few span over into that area. Wow. And I thought to myself, well, maybe it is a really active area.
It's Indiana, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, Indiana. Yeah. And Gary in Indiana.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think? So obviously, I know you're not a big fan of Ghost Adventures, but
I will say I never say I never had ever, but the earlier seasons I was. It's kind of a yes and no answer for me. I mean, obviously I'm going to start off the no part. I'm not too crazy about, like, kind of like what Carrie said. I think they dramatized it a little bit too much. But on the yes side, I definitely truly believe that there was something going on in that house, the family that lived in that house. So, because you just can't really, I mean, especially for those who really believe in this stuff, you just cannot deny that something probably did happen at the house. Maybe not in the documentary, but when they were living there.
Yeah, definitely. For you guys that obviously haven't seen it, or people in the chat that obviously are like, what the hell are you guys on about? So the Demon House, if you want to check it out, it's on Discovery Plus, it's on Amazon Prime, and Hefty, you said it's on Shudder as well, didn't you, mate?
If it's, I'm gonna have to check afterwards. If it's not, and it is on Prime, I have Prime as well.
It's on Amazon.
I'll watch it regardless. I'll definitely check it out.
There's plenty of places you can find it. Obviously, also I'll be showing you tonight. There's some lost footage that's people in the UK. It's on YouTube. I don't know about other places. I know you guys in America struggle to see it because it was blocked or something. But there's some lost footage on YouTube. There's probably other places to get it, but I'm not very technical minded, so I haven't got a clue. But so the idea of this demon house, it originally was the Ammons family that lived there. It was also known as the 200 Demons house, which is obviously in Gary, Indiana, as we said. Now it says Latoya Adams, her mother Rosa Campbell, Campbell, and her 3 children claimed paranormal activity occurred in the residence, and the story was publicized in January 2014. Now, what originally happened, so you got Latoya Ammons, who has her 3 children, honestly, and her mum lived in this house. The children were 7, 9, and 12. After they moved in, they started seeing, like, it was middle of winter, they had flies in the porch area outside, like, warming in there. Now, this is middle of winter. This is, people in the UK, it's got to be like -10 or below. It's extremely cold. Fahrenheit, we tried working this one out for. It's cold.
Midwest gets real cold.
It's real cold. So that shouldn't happen.
Typically, it's warm actually here in UK. That's not warm.
For a change.
For a change until next week and it'll rain. So they started hearing things like footsteps, the basement doors creaking. They started seeing shadowy figures, and so the activity started building, and the activity mainly focused around the children. Now, they did say that these kids started seeing, like, into the eyes. They could keep seeing these, like, red eyes everywhere when they was, like, sleeping. They'd wake up, there'd be red eyes in their room.
Were they white as well?
Yeah, there was some white ones as well. And apparently the 12-year-old daughter was levitated above her bed while she was unconscious, obviously during a sleepover with her friend. Her friend saw her levitating above her bed. And apparently the daughter had no memory of this incident. The older son, he was thrown across the room by unseen forces. And the younger son had his eyes rolling to the back of his head, and he was growling, saying, "It's time to die, I will kill you."
Wow.
Now, that is just a general overview. I could keep going on and on and on. Obviously, what happened.
I think that was enough just in itself.
But that's that's just like that's the start. This is where this started. Now, I'll bring up some photos. So this is the house that we're on about. How is this going to work with like 8 screens?
I was going to say, we are going to fit on the side of the screen.
Is there going to be anybody left?
All right, Marty, you can share my screen.
Hold on, guys.
There we go.
Hey, look at us.
Sweet digs.
So yeah, this is the Demon House. This is one of the better. There's obviously ones. I don't know if you guys have seen it. You can Google Demon House, and there'll be like pictures of people stood in the window. They're all fake. They're not real. People have edited them.
I'm sure I've seen this before.
Yeah. This is quite a common photo. This one, I've seen it popping about. There was one. I think it's this window here. There's apparently, it was in the paper. They were saying there was a spirit stood in the window, and then it turned out to be a hoax. Someone just edited it on their computer and released it. So yeah, that's the Demon House. I mean,
it looks like a normal house.
Yeah, it is a normal building.
The thing is,
go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, I just want to say, you get that a lot, don't you? You know, these houses, what are said to be haunted, they're just your average, and I feel that feels more normal. You know, it's just your average house.
It's a little bit scarier too, because you know when you think haunted house or like demon house, you picture some like gnarled Tim Burton-esque or like very gothic architectural styling, like mansion or castle, right, Amy?
Yeah.
And then you got some like some schlubs shack down in like Indiana, and it's like, yeah, why not? Anywhere. That's just I think as scary as anything else.
Yeah, because this could be our house. You know, it could be one of our houses. Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize is that, especially for families who are moving into a brand new house, or even if it has that historic aspect to it, and they later find out that it's haunted, it's not going to always have just that creepy looking appearance. I mean, there's a few of them out there, but most of them will just look like the house on the right and house to the left. It's just like any other house in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not always the house, though. It's the land that the house is actually on that it's attached to. So it could be a completely lovely looking home, but obviously whatever it's been built on, you know, something could be nasty there. Not necessarily nasty.
I wanted to point that out too, which is I've been searching constantly about the history of the house, and I've just found little to no information about what happened before then, who had lived there, was there anything else that occurred during the house's, existence, or if there was something that occurred beforehand. I can't find anything about it.
Yeah, I struggled. I mean, for tonight's, like, obviously for the show, to get the information up so I don't forget it all. I've really struggled. I'm relying really on my memory of watching it. Like, you guys, like, you can search it now.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm getting there. If I start going silent, you know why. I've just forgotten everything. I do that a lot. Like, I'll just go silent. You end up.
I have that on days. I do that on days where I forget things, and I'm like, Phil, John, Al, and usually that's what they do. But this demon house, though, I gotta say that by just looking at it, I just literally kind of find it very interesting how a house will be very haunted if someone was there or not. But I'm considering in my head, I got something in my head which is overticking and saying, well, the land has been there longer before the house. What about if someone just triggered something and digged something and triggered a certain objects, found something very interesting, led into the house? So I gotta admit, on my ideas, sorry to you, Kerry, about you loving Sackbait, but he does dominate it a little bit.
Yeah.
As I were looking at,
I am.
I think what you said, obviously, John, what you said about the ley lines, and then obviously Drew, what you're saying, I that's where I was coming from. Like when I was watching it, it's not necessarily the house; it's where it is. Like you say, that land is like probably Native American land that goes back centuries. Who knows what was there beforehand?
The activity that's going on within the home as well. That's not normal haunting. That would have been opened somehow by somebody as well. So it would have started off maybe as a normal haunting, a normal porthole, and then all hell's let loose literally within that building.
Yeah.
If I remember correct, also, I think the property that was there, now the land, is not in the most desirable area either. So it's got a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, etc., going on in the neighbourhood, which is almost like a recipe as well in itself for the activity that's going on there.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny though how you No, sorry, Karen.
Sorry.
So basically, that's gonna feed off like the energy down the area. The area is giving out like if it's crime and all that, it's gonna feed like lunchtime then. So maybe that's why the house is more active and probably louder. I get it now.
Gary has a relatively violent. I mean, it's not entirely, but does have some relatively violent areas. Very much crime related, and it feeds off a lot of the energy that goes on. And not to mention, it also has one of the most polluted atmospheres in that area because they got a steam mill over there, and that usually creates a lot of the pollution. That's where, of course, the global warming comes from. So anything that's really negative in a way, whether it's the crime, pollution, whatever, it's feeding off of whatever's there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the foundation of what's happening. So,
what I find interesting though, looking at it, there's Reverend Michael, what got sent in.
Yeah.
I mean, Catholic Church has got to grant permission and need evidence before sending anyone out to do exorcisms. So there must have been quite a lot of evidence for him to submit to church to send him out to actually do an exorcism in that house. So I find that interesting, and also the police. There were a policeman. I'm not quite sure his name, but
yes, there was. Yeah,
he actually thought they were liars. The people who were living there. But then when they actually went into the house, they came out as believers.
Yeah,
and they're police.
Charles,
so I find it interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny how you guys obviously Kerry and Drew. I know you guys your background's like mediumship and that. But it's funny how Drew, you've never seen this. And you're saying about someone's open in the land and stuff like that is coming up through the land. Now they think this is haunted because in the basement there's a stairway that goes down to the basement. Under the stairs, the whole basement's concreted, but under the stairs it's open to the ground. There's no concrete. Now the police dug here because they thought, why is there? It can be buried something. It could be potentially a body or something. They found what they think are ritual items that were buried in the ground. They found a fingernail. They found women's underwear, a sock. What else is it? There's a pipe or something. There's quite a lot of items down in this random item that shouldn't be there.
The women's underwear was mine. Sorry.
I'm thinking the same thing. I was thinking.
Yeah. So wait, you were thinking it was mine? Thanks.
There's even a tin that had burnt out candles in it that was there, under this stairs, and it's not regularly accessible for someone just to be left there. You have to go under the stairs to get to it. So. It's funny. I just like how you guys are saying about that, and then John, you're saying about the ley lines in the land and stuff. And I think you guys are onto something there with how this probably started.
I just had to check because I was thinking I could easily make an idiot of myself here. I thought
that's my gig,
and I'm good at that. I'm good at that. I was thinking, is Indiana near? I thought it were near. I can't say it word too well. Is it Ohio?
Ohio.
Ohio. Yeah. And I've always read a lot about that area, and I believe there's a serpent mound, some old earthwork. So it definitely is with that area where those ley lines go.
I'll see if I can pull it up, Tom.
Yeah. So there is something to do with that land because there's a few people I've talked to from states. And they just end up happening to be living in that area, and they talk about a lot of underground structures, and I find that really interesting.
I mean, when we conduct an investigation, we mainly do private. Quite a lot of times it's private investigations, and but when we do look into stuff, it's mainly we do quite a lot of research, and ley lines always seems to come into it. Old reports, if any does arise. When it comes to anything that comes his way, we're normally thinking, well, what's happened in past? Is there anything that's happened in past? What's the actual history area? We always go down path of, well, what is actually the history then? We always do his research.
Yeah.
I have a picture I want to share on the green screen. Of course, obviously, Kerry, I think you've seen it before. This is an actual picture of the basement of the demon house. And you clearly see under the steps the soil underneath. That was the only part, is what Tom said, that was not covered by concrete. It was all under the stairs.
I think it's weird that he's actually kept the stairs for his museum.
So he did, at the end of it, he did demolish the house because of what happened, which is what we'll get into. But he kept the stairs, the dirt, some of the items that are in the house, like the crucifixes and stuff. which is like obviously you guys know, keeping anything that's potentially haunted.
Yeah, I was waiting for Carrie's response on that, or Drew's, because I remember
give
Carrie was
up.
bugging about
I give
the
up.
dolls.
Get
Yeah,
over
that's probably the smartest thing to do.
He gives up us now.
But I'm an idiot, and I'm like, wait a second, yeah, you shouldn't be keeping that stuff, right? Like, am I wrong? No? Okay.
See, when it comes to Zach himself, do you think that is taking quite a lot on? With all these artifacts that he's getting and places that he's been, especially that place.
Yeah,
do you think that it might be actually taking a little bit on and it might affect him in some way?
I mean, I've always said that because we watched Ghost Adventures. Sorry, Carrie. Yeah. Ghost Adventures.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, it is. Like, I don't know if you've watched the program yourself. We were saying this earlier in the green room. It's now it's affected his sight from being in that actual property. He has to wear glasses and long-term problems. So, and I'm sure if you've got to know the bloke, you'll probably find actually that's just probably one of many issues now that he has to deal with his health.
Yeah.
So you can't do this sort of thing in life and come away unscarred.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, yeah. So what happened was obviously when you watch the program at the end, he locks himself in his house, gets it boarded shut, and can't get out. Which is just stupid.
Yep.
On his own. And
what if there was a fire or something that could have started?
Exactly. It's a wooden house, and he couldn't get out. There's no way of him possibly getting out.
I don't know. I reckon he could have, if he needed to get out, I reckon he could have.
Well, I don't know. Well, he had them on mobile, didn't he? But yeah, and then he apparently sees this shadow go past the door. And then from that point onwards, he had extreme pain in the back of his eyes. Mm-hmm. And by the 24 hours later, his vision went cross-eyed. He had double vision, and then he went to the doctors, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's an irreparable vision condition.
Yeah, he has to wear prism glasses.
He has to wear prism glasses for the rest of his life to be able to see properly now.
And I reckon it was because he shouldn't have seen it, and because he saw a glimpse of it, that's why it affected his eyes.
That's crazy.
See, that's strange, isn't it? Normally that's connected to angelic force. Mm-hmm. When you're not really supposed to see that type of thing. Disturbs with your eyesight.
Yeah, and like you say, I think by keeping these objects and there's the amount of stuff he's kept and stuff, it does stay with you. I mean, we've got dolls, and we collect haunted dolls, and we've got about 20 dolls. Some of them aren't haunted; they're fakes. We know that, but then there's some of them that are genuine, and even they have their effect on you, just them on their own. And these are just little dolls. He's collecting stuff that's killed people and God knows what.
And especially the soil. If it's the soil, that's the problem. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I actually have a fellow investigator friend who did something like that. I mean, not with a whole bunch of items, and John, actually, Katrina Cooper was with us for this because we brought her along with her friend Rhodey to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery a couple of years ago. And while we were there, we actually uncovered a few, well, not very many, but we found a few old bricks, which I think was actually one of the original bricks to where a house once stood. Wow. Now, I didn't take it. I did the smart thing. I never took it, but my investigator friend, he ended up taking the brick, but he's like, this day, it's still in his car. He hasn't brought it into his house, but he's left it in the car ever since.
It's in his car. I mean, get him in a car accident.
That's why I like John's response. John was just like, what?
Yeah, and plus, I've ridden with him on our road trips. So something could happen, too, if we're on the road somewhere. We're like 100 miles away.
You need to take that brick on your road trip out the window. Yeah. Just as you're driving your car.
By the way, Rob, thank you for that, Rob. I had that going through my head as soon as that happened, too. So thank you for...
Take the bus, Nick.
Yeah.
Fill my eyes with double vision. Good song, though.
Going back to the spirit. Going back to the spirit, I've just been thinking a lot in my head. And that hurts just today, when I think a lot. Okay? Really
Same. I like this Drew guy.
He's awesome, right?
So, thinking about this this cross-eyed situation. All right, yeah, we can say we don't think he might be able to see it, but don't you think he took on the spirit inside him? So, like possession, but not possession. just basically accepted that spirit. That's why he got them visions. And then suddenly he come ill under that 24 hours. So, all right, things are calling out from the dirt. Zack is making things a little bit worse by stepping his foot in there, winding up the spirits. Love the guy, but again, he does silly things on certain fictions. So, already we got nails, knickers. Dude, you gotta stop wearing them knickers. Seriously, it's not helpful. It's not healthy for you. Out of all this line, then, what is Zack trying to seed? What is he actually trying to do to the house? Because it's really interesting. When you step in the haunted house, what's he trying to gain from it? From psychologically as well? Is he going to make himself ill every time he goes into the haunted house? Is this the normal occurrence of the Zack?
No, that would be illegal. I definitely don't remember anything like that. Yes, I did, and that's very true. And from what I recall, too, is a really creepy ass statue too.
What statue are we talking about here?
So we used to go borrow things from people's front yards. Years and years and years ago, and one of the things we borrowed was this like weird statue that was in somebody's yard, and we brought it home, and it was upstairs in I think our closet at the time, and we just had the worst luck for like every single day for like the longest time until we were like, okay, this might be a problem, so we returned it, no problem. So, and then there was nothing afterwards. I mean, it was weird.
It's strange how things like that happen. I mean, I've got a friend what lives Louisiana, and
I used to live in Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh, she lives there, and she does Reiki, and she went, oh yeah, it can work over distance. It don't matter. Anyway, so I was doing Reiki sessions with her. And one night, me and our Phil, we picked up this dibble box. As soon as we put that in car, and it's this weird, creepy old box as well. As soon as we put that in car, she messaged me, John, what are you doing? I can feel a negative energy already. She literally within minutes of being near that box. And I just thought, how did she know to do that? She could. It's obvious she was reacting to it. Because,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with this stuff. Like, it's not. We always say, don't we? I always say to you, that you gotta have respect, and you've got to always like if you're gonna do these things like the doll, you've got to expect the worst, hope for the best. And if something bad does happen, don't be like, oh, I wish that didn't happen, because you're asking for it, isn't it? Like,
you bought it on yourself.
You play with fire, you get burned. Like, it's what happens, isn't it? So
I'm just wondering, you actually found blood traces in that basement, or any?
There's a back bedroom in that basement, and I can't quite remember the story. I'm going on my memory here, but I'm sure the lad that lived in there, he committed suicide and was murdered in that back basement room. I think he committed suicide in the room, which is funny because when they do the investigations, they bring this scientist in. I can't remember his name. I should have got it beforehand. He takes in, obviously, we all use the EMF meters and stuff like electromagnetic field. He took that in, and in that back room, it's going off the charts. Like, it's going nuts, and it's transient. So it's not near the wall, it's not near the floor. It's like floating in midair. Where this energy pocket is in that room, which is interesting. You say that, like they found that, and someone did die there, which can be a factor to it, maybe. And it's actually from that point where the scientist was. He heard a dog barking. And after that, he started spacing out and stuff. They say a lot of people that enter this house, they start almost like spacing out as if they don't know where they are, what they're doing, like confused.
Yeah.
And he started doing that. When he went back to the hotel room that night, he woke up and he was bleeding from his ears. He had extreme pains in his abdomen and that. He goes to hospital and he's like, wrong. and all of his organs started shutting down one by one, like a cascade effect. And the doctors in this had no explanation. They couldn't understand why it was happening. Like his blood came back perfect. He had no underlying health conditions.
It was all because he was in this house.
They think it's because he came into contact with something in this house that potentially affected him.
But also as well, they caught something on video where he was going.
Oh yes, yeah. I should have brought that up. You'll watch it anyway. And there's a moment. So the cameraman's following the scientist through the house, and they have to slow it down. But as he turns a corner, this it looks like a head to me, like a black shadow head comes out from behind this.
I think it's the
bathroom wall and shoots back in. And when he goes back, he puts his hand in the same place where it was, and he says the negativity in it is like really bad. He says it for some reason he doesn't know that's just happened.
Yeah, exactly. See that.
And it's funny how that night he ends up being hospitalized with his organs shutting down.
And also as well, there was a family that went there as well, the girl.
Oh yeah, so obviously you guys know about the demon stuff. It's things happening free scratches, free knocks. So there's 3 kids before they end up being possessed. Yeah. Then during the filming, this other woman came and said, "I used to live here," and she had pictures of proof she used to live there, and she had 3 kids with her in the car. And Zach said to him, "Look, you do realise the old family had 3 kids as well, don't you?" And he says, "You sure you want to come in and have a look?" She says, yeah, I'm sure. One of the girls that went in there, is it like 2 weeks later or something like that? I'm probably wrong on dates, but it's short time afterwards. She tried to commit suicide.
And she doesn't remember having that conversation with Zach.
She doesn't remember entering the house, having the conversation, nothing. And they actually performed an exorcism on her. The same guy that Michael Maginot, he had to perform an exorcism on her twice. To rid her of this.
She went to sleep almost, didn't she?
Yeah.
It left her body.
Yeah, so you'll see all the footage of that anyway when you watch it, and there's too many coincidences. There's so many I could talk about, like coincidences that happen in this. It's
his camera crew. His camera crew gets affected. The guy.
Yes, that's the guy we'll go into in a minute. But so there's obviously there's a lot of people that witnesses this thing, which is what blows my mind. So this guy here is the policeman you was on about, Drew, I think. So this guy here, he's obviously the policeman that before, he doubted everything that happened in this house.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. Where was
No, that would be Phil. Phil said that. Phil said that.
Sorry. Sorry, yeah, mate. Sorry. See, I'm already losing my way.
Natural causes for the police. It's natural causes for the police. The police don't believe in certain things. Some does, some don't. But what they usually do, they have to follow this guide rule. But some don't believe it, and some are like, okay, whatever, type of thing. But once it happens to them, it's like 2 police officers. Have you ever seen where 2 police officers went to the woods, go and see a case, and next minute, a big scream, a almighty scream, come out down him and he just disappeared? Most coppers don't like spooky places because of these situations.
He didn't believe it. His name's called Charles Austin. When he went there originally, because he went with the DTS workers, obviously their child services that went there because obviously the activity that happened with the kids and them potentially being possessed, they had to obviously intervene to say, like, is this something that's maybe happened because of the mum or something, or and he went there with them to look around. He didn't believe any of this stuff. He found the artifacts that they dug up. They also found an oil substance dripping from the blinds for no reason when they were digging this stuff up. And this is obviously during the interview when they're filming the documentary. He goes back to, this is in the basement, he goes back to the house. After this, within about a week, he actually, his house was broken into, forced entry, and he was shot by one of the people in forced entry, and he was lucky to live. He was put in intensive care.
Yeah.
And he's just one. These people, these witnesses, almost every single one, like either the same day or within weeks of filming, of being in the house, have like extreme accidents. Like there was one woman, she broke a rib, a hip. She was involved in a car accident. Something else. The list goes on. Like almost everybody's been in the house has been severely affected. like physically.
That's crazy.
It's I don't know.
Nick, you got something to say, buddy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody by requested Jeremy York because he's watching the show right now. He wanted me to quickly announce, especially for those who are watching, there's going to be an event coming up on July 3rd, Saturday, July 3rd, from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the Old Lake County Jail and Sheriff's Office. They're having a ghost hunt that night. It's let's see. I guess they're calling it a game, but it begins at 8 p.m. and it ends at 10 p.m. and afterwards they'll be doing an investigation till 1 a.m. They can hold up to 30 people for this event, and the cost for it is $30 a person. Make sure to get a hold of Jeremy York if you wish to attend this event. So
you pissed Marty off. Nice job, Nick.
Not out.
Man, you're good at that. You're good at either that or he's on his way walking there. He's so excited about it.
Better hurry, it's a long way.
Oh,
Love it.
There's another.
he is the best hype guy.
Why did Zach Baggins get it demolished?
Because of the activity. I'll show
Yeah,
you
there's a couple reasons why he had it.
Squatters as well, weren't there?
I think.
Yeah, there's squatters.
I think he did it for good intentions until he then put the stairs and the dirt and artifacts with him.
Yeah, and I think because of how many people were injured, possessed, like he lost his vision. One of his crew members quit on site. Like he said it started affecting his family at home. What's his name? Not Jay, the other one, Billy. Started affecting his family at home after being in the house. He never talks about his family, but he said it was that bad that he had to quit the show immediately. He wouldn't go back. And I think it got to the point, like Nick said, that it just after all this combination of things, that he wanted to destroy the house so that nobody else could get affected.
The problem you've got though is it might not necessarily be attached to the house; it's attached to the land.
The land,
so you haven't actually stopped it. You may have also actually released it.
Yeah,
well, maybe that's going to be the sequel. Return to even demonier.
What I don't understand is the family that were connected to that house obviously moved to another place, and they've had no accounts or any demonic activity.
No,
so you've got the cast and crew that's experiencing things after the house, and then you've got a family that's been submerged in that energy to another house, and they're not experiencing any at all.
Yeah, which is weird. Yeah.
Also, as well, like looking at it from Zach Baggins, saying his name wrong.
Call whatever you like.
That's it. Yeah, told Zachy boy.
And that's Carrie's future ex-husband. Careful.
I can hear the wedding bells already. I can hear Easting. Actually,
I love that he just had a bell there. That's sure. Why not? I love it.
I need that in my life.
For Zach.
Oh, do you need it? Well, welcome to have it.
You have to send it. Could he have made money keeping the house as it were?
Oh, definitely.
So,
imagine if he opened that up for tours.
Has he basically demolished something that he could have made money from? If so, then it might point to like a legitimate case where he believed it needed taking down. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
he bought this in.
I think he still kept piece of it though, so he was still getting money out of it in some way by putting it in his museum.
He bought this in
2018, 2019, was it?
2014,
I believe.
He bought it in 2014. He did the documentary the following year. Then in January of 2015 was when he had it demolished. So for the most part, he only actually lived or owned the house for about a year.
Yeah, it took 5 years to release the documentary. Because it wasn't due to like the editing and all that. It was so difficult for him, apparently, for everything that happened, that he wasn't going to release it originally. He didn't want people to see it because obviously they say that, like I say, watching this, there's a warning on this show for a reason, because they say that watching the footage of demonic activity
Yeah, I
can
know,
affect
but
people.
They didn't want people to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But like you said, like Kerry said, he has to make a show.
Maybe
He
it's
has to make money.
It's all about the money.
It's
as
a
well.
business.
They're just hiding. They're just trying to hide the information, aren't they? They're trying to hide the information of proven conspiracy actually come through a television. With us by watching. For me as a medium.
Special shout out to Bonnie real quick. She's a state over from us in Massachusetts that does she does paranormal or belongs to the Moonlight Paranormal, I believe. She was up there. But super props because she's right around the corner. So yay, Bonnie.
Thank you for joining us, Bonnie. Thank you. I agree with you, John. I think for him, obviously demolishing the house, I think that's had a negative financial impact on him. He could have made so much money out of that. And I think that does increase the validity of it. Definitely. I'll show you a couple of clips here. This is obviously from the loft footage. This is just a snippet of what you're going to see when you watch the thing. But this one so he's going down to the basement to obviously he's investigating. Sorry, I keep freaking forgetting what I'm saying. I'll bring it up on the screen and then I know what I'm doing then. So yeah, so this is the lost footage. This is obviously AJ Powell. This is not my footage. Before anybody tries copywriting me. So you can go on his channel, just search that and it'll pop up.
Right, yeah.
So I'll play it, and it's only about a minute long, and you guys see what you think. This is some of what happens.
Someone down there.
Now, this is in the basement, right?
Yeah. So he's walking down into the basement at the moment. You're also looking for something appearing. Oh, it's gone. Hang on 2 seconds. There'll be like a little orb that will appear about here.
I thought I just saw a little bit of movement.
Did you get it? So they'll replay it. So obviously that scared the crap out of him. They're about to replay. You listen to the noise that you're about to hear. So they're going to replay it now.
Somebody over here.
Can you hear the breath?
Yeah.
There's like a breath in his ear. Obviously, you can hear it better when you watch it. But that's just a snippet of what happens.
On the right-hand side, there seemed to be some kind of something appearing from steps. I didn't know what that were. It's quite weird, that. Yeah.
Was it like I didn't see that. On the right-hand side. 2 seconds. Let me bring it back up so I can see it. See if I can pause it in the right place. Wrong one.
It'll be on the right-hand side when he's going down.
Yeah.
Hold on. There, see? The hanging thing. It looks like a hand or something.
Yeah, it's like a hand or...
It might be rubbish in the basement.
I think there is like rubbish.
Right.
Rubbish in the floor of the basement, right?
Still, it looks odd, doesn't it? That.
Yeah, it did. Like I thought it was like a hand swinging. I'm like, all right, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah. That'd have got
Can
me.
we just play it back one more time because we all make suggestions? Can we just play back one more time, just about before you hit the rubbish, if you think it's a rubbish?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Somebody over
it's like a pair of shoes or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Now that you said that, I could actually kind of see the shape on it. Yeah.
It's hard. It's obviously.
Can you see the shape?
Good, but
Yeah, we can, Drew. Yeah, I get you now.
It's interesting because usually shape in the dark it wasn't there, and then suddenly it's there. That's what I'm on about. So suddenly it wasn't there at the beginning, then suddenly, because as he peeked through, it started popping out. So interesting for me is, if it's a shoe or what it is, or if we can find out what it is, that is going to be another connection, because that, again, will belong to another spirit or to another person, and it have a touch on them. Anything you leave behind or in a haunted house, you're still going to have that attachment on a certain piece of equipment, because the spirit will feed on it. It'll feed on it like food.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how suddenly it wasn't, and then it was there, and then suddenly everyone do straight into rubbish, but then I'm just thinking a little bit further ahead, if you get what I mean. I usually do this kind of often, quite a lot as a medium. Is just going, let's have a look what it possibly really could is. Let's play about with it, type of thing. That's the type of guy I am. So I want to know what spirit is doing that.
But also, has anything been said about his left eye being affected more than other?
Not what I know of.
It's just it's really weird. There's a connection between vision and spiritual contact, because there's something happened with my left eye, and when I mentioned it to Katrina Cooper's friend Tiffany, she went, "Oh, have you heard about the recordings and story of this chat?" And it's called, you can search it up. Something to do with, it's got left eye in title, and I've read it, and it's weird stuff. And I've started noticing it in a few people in paranormal.
Okay, no, I haven't seen that. It's a good thought, though. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting what you said, because I didn't know that about his eyes. But yeah.
Because if you notice, like when you watch the programs, he has like to a point he has like normal glasses on, but now if you watch, his glasses are very thick, and they distort the look of his eyes when you look directly at him. It's those prism glasses to make his eyes focus properly, but yeah, it could have one side maybe more worse than the other.
That's mad. Right,
what time are we on? Oh, I come up to 10 to. There's one more thing I want to play you briefly before we come in towards the end of the show. So this is one of his crew. This guy was a cameraman. He didn't believe in anything before. He didn't even believe in the paranormal. He just went there to film. It was a job. He was getting paid. He went to the house.
Thank you, Pamela.
No,
Bye, Pamela.
All right, see you later, Pamela. Thank you for joining us. The same night that the scientists went back to the hotel, they went back to the hotel. When they went back to the hotel, this guy, what happens is he also all of a sudden has a feeling he wants to go back to the house, like immediately. He doesn't know why, he just wants to go back. He goes to the elevator, and in his head, he says, like, if this stuff's real, stop me getting in this elevator, in his head. He presses the button, and what he says is the elevator opened about 2 inches, stopped, and he saw he said he saw the devil stood in the elevator.
Goat head and stuff. This
guy screams like a freaking girl, like he legs it, but then his mood changes and he gets extremely aggressive. He was actually fired from the show the day after because of how bad it got. Now, of course, after that, he said that he saw the demon and all this stuff, and he had dreams about it. He actually took a polygraph test to see if he's lying. This is the test. This is the guy that did it. I'll play it for you.
Yeah, but polygraph tests, man, have been proven, man, that you can psych yourself into passing one of those. Like, polygraph tests to me mean absolutely nothing.
If you were a Buddhist.
True, yeah.
I could pass a polygraph test if I had to.
But this guy, once he does it, he says he's telling the truth. Well, you can make your own mind of it. But this for me was one of the pieces that validates a lot of it, I think. So yeah, it's just a couple of minutes. So this is the guy.
Yeah, I remember this part.
Later agreed to meet with Jay Watson, one of my other crew members, to film a polygraph test.
My name is Dennis Stephen Artist. I'm a certified polygraph examiner for over 33 years.
That Joe Bob breaks.
Former private investigator. Told him to do a polygraph examination on a gentleman regarding some paranormal.
So he's putting his reputation on the line to do this.
I would like to go over the question and I'll go over the responses of the subject.
He looks quite serious.
These are the subject's responses. I asked Adam if he had vomited practically.
I wonder how much they paid him for doing it, though.
Indiana. His response was yes. Then asked him if he had felt a steady pain in his stomach before he vomited blood. And again, his response was yes. The next question was, did you see a demon-like creature in the elevator at the hotel room in Indiana after filming at Zach's house? His answer was yes. I then asked him if Zach's house had made him violent, and his answer was yes. And he said the visualization of that demon-like creature made him both paranoid and violent. I asked him if he was terrified at what he experienced at Zach's house.
That's in the house.
And his response was yes. I asked him if he experienced the back pains after filming inside the house.
He's there.
And his response again was yes. I asked him if he had a dream about Zach's house prior to ever arriving there. And his answer and his response was yes. I then asked him if he had screamed for Zach after he saw the demon-like creature in the hotel elevator because of his fear. And his response was yes. I asked him if he had visions of killing Zach. And his response was yes.
So does Nick.
If he had visions of Zach killing himself with the broken glass from the mirror in the bathroom. And his response was yes. I asked him before he went to Zach's house if he had believed the stories he heard about the paranormal activities that had taken place. And his answer was no, he didn't believe. I then asked him if he had believed that there were demons in Zach's house from what he had experienced. His answer was yes, now he does believe. I asked him if he heard a growl in the basement of Zach's house while filming with Dr. Barry Taft. He said he did, and so did others.
That's the scientist.
Albright was truthful in responding to all questions asked regarding the paranormal activity that had taken place in Zach's house in Gary, Indiana.
So that's.
But the things I was going to say, actually, I think this kind of goes back to the Mandela effect that we were talking about before, how your perception of what you believe, you can be so warped in your mind to believe it happened so much
genuinely believe it,
that he could be given, correct answers to what he thinks he really truly believes.
Right. Yeah.
So,
just to answer Tuna's question, so Tuna, I know you weren't here, or maybe you weren't here for the beginning when we were explaining, but it's basically a documentary that this guy made. So it kind of follows their thing at the house, but then there's like the stuff at the hotel to like kind of pad the movie and like make it more drama-y. I'm sorry, Carrie.
I was just saying, that's in there.
At the same time, we've got a few famous haunted houses over here, and it looks as though one of them, especially East Drive, it looks as though the land is the issue in the area. There were some big wars between monks for 100 years in that area, and there were executions and stuff. So maybe, like for that house, East Drive, I think there's something to do with has happened in that house and in area in other houses. People sometimes do overhype it, but there's still something there. So, I mean, there seems to be a lot going off with this house, and it matches up with area that came to mind. I mean, it's somewhere I'd like to go, personally. But you can't.
I don't Nick goes. He lives down the road.
Yeah.
Goes forward. Come on, Nick.
You're there tomorrow.
We would actually investigate it. Who would actually would have loved to actually have gone in there and investigated that, knowing after all this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'd have to be careful, wouldn't you? Because
we would have to take Drew. Drew, come on, buddy. Look, I promise it's going to be fine. We have you here.
Nothing to worry about.
Nothing.
As long as you got my back on that piece, I wouldn't do anything.
Oh, totally got your back, bro.
Yeah,
I got your back right here.
I just want what's there now? If house has been took down,
nothing.
There's nothing there. All there is just as a concrete slab foundation. That's it.
See, my question is, does he own the land too?
No.
So he doesn't own the land. He just owned the house. So nobody's developed it or put anything else on it.
Yeah, I was going to say he bought the house, but as soon as he demolished it, it's like there was nothing else for him to stay with. So he basically kind of
Put him on
abandoned the whole
Popeyes.
It's the same with houses in the UK.
It becomes common ground, though, doesn't it, when you demolish it, I think?
No, because when we say, for instance, the house burns down,
Yeah.
we
Suppose
still,
you own the
we
land,
still
yeah.
own the land.
Depends on what the deed is, yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
That's an interesting. I mean, I'd be very interested to find out the answer to that question, because if he does own the land, I mean, he's kind of missing out on some opportunity, or if he's not letting anything happen there, he's doing humanity a service.
So
yeah, see, Phil's coming. Party at Nick's, and we're all going to party at Nick's. We're all going to go to Gary, Indiana.
That sounds good.
Except Marty, you can't come.
No, I don't want to go.
Drinks though.
I'll stay right here and I'll watch. I'm good.
A haunted parking lot.
Scared of a haunted parking lot. Panic rituals and stuff like it is like it's quite a popular area that people do mess about on there still, like and. As we know, Hefty, you shouldn't mess around with certain things.
What do you mean me? What do you mean me? What do you think? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I've messed around with things as well, so it's, yeah.
My lawyer said you weren't allowed to talk about that, by the way.
I'm fired. Can I fire myself?
I'm missing out here. I'm missing out here now. I'm missing out here. What's going on? No, it's out there now. It's out there now. Come on. Build the beacons.
Are we talking about the scratches, Tom? Is that what we're talking about? So back when I was a kid, I was in a lot of the occult shit. And I had a lot of scratches. I actually talked to Carrie, was one of my first go-tos about it. That I would get on my legs. I still have the scars. I'm not going to show you my pasty Irish boy legs because I have compassion for my fellow human being. But there was a lot of them, and they were pretty gnarly, man. And so a buddy of mine went out after conferring with Tom and Amy and Carrie and Marty and a bunch of people. They were pretty much like, yeah, go get some crystals. So I got a quartz and an obsidian by my bed now. No more problems. It was a longer story than that, but no problems since.
Yeah, it got quite bad, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Hopefully we've solved that problem. It just shows you mess with it. It's it happens. I as you probably know, I've said many times before, I was a complete skeptic, and since what I've done,
it's curiosity.
I can't explain some things that have happened.
Right. I forgot poor Carrie got traumatized by my legs. Carrie, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we are coming up to the end, but I mean, I know it's been quite a brief overview of actually the whole show. There's loads more that I haven't even mentioned, but
what do you expect? You got like 8 screens here.
Yeah, it's difficult
to get around.
But I mean, final thoughts on myself. Like, I think it's a show. He has to make a show. He has to dramatize. Hence, like all the goat figures that keep popping up and all that.
I think at the end of the day, why would the family want to air their dirt out on public?
Yeah, I mean, they've ruined their reputation. I'm pretty sure they got offers to make a film about this from a big film company. They didn't say the film company, but they turned it down because they didn't want anything to do with it. Now,
Lionsgate.
Yes, probably. They would have made millions out of it. So, are they genuine? More likely to be, maybe. I don't know. I think the evidence is genuine. What you see.
I think it's been hyped, but I think it's genuine.
But like we said, there's like you said there, John. There's always a story behind like 30 East Drive. There's always something that's happened that does happen, but people just put that hype on top of it.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point in watching something that's boring?
Exactly.
And in end as well, his vision. I take that's a real thing. You know.
Yes. Yeah. That's permanent for life.
Yeah.
That's mad. So yeah.
And like I say, the doctors that go on the show, I mean, they film them, their name, where they work, everything. They say that yes, he has this condition and it will never be cured.
It's even the social services that got involved with the family because of the family like home life, and the boy that apparently crawled up the wall backwards.
Yes.
Everyone witnessed it, and even social services, people that work for child protection, and
said it happened. They saw it.
They wouldn't lie about something like that.
No.
And they're all on camera saying their name, their job. I mean, if you want to ruin your career, then yeah, go for it.
At
But
the end of the day, people might think they look crazy, but it's like they wouldn't lie about something.
But even he doubted it. Like Zach at the beginning, he's like saying, "Is this a hoax?" Like when he bought it, he thought, "All right, is this really happening?" But after everything going on and interviewing people and people,
what happened to his crew,
people getting injured and
even the guy that went into hospital and
nearly died. The signers, like
yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
did he actually make a lot of money out of all this?
I assume off the program, yeah, he would have off the documentary. But I don't think he would have made that much because obviously
We would have had to have bought the house first.
Yeah, he's obviously bought the house. He had to demolish it, which would have cost Bob Light. And then I think even because now it's streaming for free on Discovery Plus and on Amazon,
he's not
really making much out of it. I want to say.
Me personally, I won't go through all this and fake and lose vision over something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, at that point, you'd have to like commit to the lie. At that point, you're like, well, I'm in it now. Like this is a lifelong thing.
Yeah, because
he's
not somebody that just showed up on TV, you see him once and then he's gone. He's got to like always make appearances because he keeps these shows up, so he's always has to live that lie. If it is lie, which I don't think it is.
And if he trips up once, his reputation is ruined forever.
Right.
Like you get caught faking to it once, that's it.
That's it. Gone. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, look at Most Haunted.
Exactly. So I don't know. I do think, like I say, obviously he's making a show, he's dramatizing it, but the evidence is real, definitely. I think you can't argue. You need to see it. You'll know it, or you make your own mind.
Actually, after this, I definitely have to see it. But what I found interesting was a reverend went in.
I'm only going to say one thing about that Demon House documentary is that, unlike Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel, it's the first time you get to hear Zach swear uncensored.
Yeah.
So actually hearing him swear, it sounds so weird not to have him censored.
So that's the one
right. I'll be watching that. Yeah.
That's the thing. And then, like I say, the one that. So I'll put the link for the video of the lost footage. You guys might be able to find a better one.
Put it in the description.
I'll put it in the description below, the one that I found.
It'd be good to have a review session.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so once you guys have watched it, I mean, we've got a few shows lined up for the next few weeks, but yeah, once you've watched it, reach back out to us and we'll do a review show. That's a good shout. Yeah, definitely.
Great. Nick, if you're gonna reach out, just message me, mate, and we'll arrange. Me and Phil and John will arrange it then to come back on if you guys want us back on. Because we enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, excellent.
I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I just want to say,
it's been crazy.
Yeah, see, I'll say very quickly. See that Drew that he's invited me on his show, twice already. I've already counted. I thought I returned the favor for him coming on, as well as Philip and John too. You guys, of course. So
I like making new friends, so this was really cool. To be honest with you,
really cool. Thank you guys definitely for coming on.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
definitely.
So if any of you guys want to come on the show on DNN TV, you're all welcome to come on DNN TV, and literally give your page. We'll give his page a soon shout out, and also we'll put it in the magazine if that's okay with you, John and Phil. We'll put it in Dan's magazine.
By all means.
Brilliant, boys.
I forget, also just drop me a message either on our Facebook or something with your details, links to your stuff, and I'll drop it all in the description below. So, guys in the chat,
hang on a minute.
For you to follow it.
You'll drop it. You mean I'll drop it?
You'll drop it, because obviously.
You know how that works.
Please send it all so we can get it obviously on. So everyone in the chat, you can go on and follow these guys and see what they do on their channels.
Thank you everyone in the comments as well.
Yes, thank you guys. I know we haven't spoken much to you guys in the comments, but
they help themselves though.
Having you have your own chats, don't you? But having 8 people to talk to is not easy. So.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, I found it quite interesting. That Tuna Emperor, we're on about actual tuna.
Yeah, so I'll explain for because I know a lot of people are confused about tuna. So tuna is somebody that I know from several channels that I go to, and from several other ones that he follows my channel. So tuna stays in character. There's one person that knows who tuna is, and that's it. Nobody knows anything about tuna. Tuna stays in character the whole time, all the time. I email tuna. Tuna and I email, and he stays in character 24/7. So tuna is a very reliable, very loyal and fun and highly intelligent individual. So anybody that's confused about that is Tuna Emperor. Oh, and it is Glorious Emperor Tuna because he leads the
Tuna. Top man.
Sorry, guys. Just 1 minute. Tila, can you make me a tuna, please? I'm getting hungry for tuna now.
Come on.
But tuna sounds nice. Really joking about tuna here.
Sure does.
Thank you everyone in the chat, and also you guys obviously coming on last minute. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on, definitely.
Thank you.
Best part of the show, though.
Yeah, so obviously the best part of the show. Terry and Drew, no medium skills for this part. You need to
I'm going with all her answers.
Buy stuff from her Etsy shop.
Yes,
follow her on TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, definitely, please.
Drew, I don't know much about Drew or these guys, but they're cool as shit. So follow them on.
Thanks, Marty.
Cards from Carrie.
All the links will be below for everybody's channels, and everybody does. Please check everyone out because we're not just a one show.
Adam, if you want to find me, come check me out, and I'll do your reading one day.
Fantastic. The only one I ever got before was from Carrie, and it was scary. Right on. So I would love that.
The demon house is scary.
Well, I was like, how does she know I drink too much?
I don't know. Maybe she watches the show.
Yeah, or anything I do. But yes, Drew, absolutely, I will. Thank you. I'll have Nick shoot Drew my info too, and John and Phil. Like I said, I love making new friends. So if you guys want to be pals,
definitely.
Carrie, me and you've got to link up, okay? We got to link up.
No, you got
to be that hard to mediums.
Yeah, shouldn't you guys be doing this telepathically already, or is that not how that works? I don't know.
Have you been noticing? We've been doing this half an hour.
That's why they've been so quiet.
That's right.
Maybe like chatting away.
Chatting away all night. But yeah, this is the part of the show. We do this general questions. It's just a bit of fun. Shot in the dark. No one knows the actual answer. So I look on the back.
Here we go.
Please join in.
Oh yeah. Psychic mediums not allowed to answer these questions. Carrie. Yeah, it's flexing.
All right. So the first one is: in total, how many people were transported from Africa to the Americas as part of the slave trade?
Oh, whoa, you're leading with that? Jesus Christ.
The worst one's first.
Wow.
The show's going to be canceled now. You realize that, right?
I shuffle the cards and pick the first one.
Bad form, old man.
Bad omen, dude. It's a
bad form.
I'm sorry.
It's like that other game, isn't it?
Too effing many. And that could even just be one. Too many. I'm going with too many because there is no. I mean, I'm sure there's a right answer to that, but dude, there is no right answer to that.
1,000? I really don't know.
It's got to be in the millions, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
I'll say about 3,500.
3,500.
Just give an odd number.
10,000.
Chantel says 10K.
5 million.
Matt says 5 million.
200,000.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
8 million.
10 million.
10 million.
All right. It is
100,000.
Did anyone go higher than 10 million?
No. Is it higher than 10 million? Tuna's at. Oh, Marty did.
No, I didn't. I said 200,000.
Oh man,
whoever said 10 million is the closest. So Chantel, you're the closest.
And Tuna and.
It's 12.5 million.
Wow.
Are you, I'm so glad that I have to watch my language on this show because I would be going off right now.
That's freaking crazy.
That's crazy.
19 million. That's a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry about that question. I'm sorry. I just read it, and when I started reading, I thought, oh, shit.
I love when Tom starts having to like,
you're roasting me here.
It's okay. We love you, buddy. We know it was.
I'm going to find myself.
You're sleeping on a couch tonight, boy.
On average, how long do British women spend doing their makeup per day?
50 minutes.
Ooh, man, you are really you're putting your foot in it. You're putting your foot in it.
I'm getting evil eye now. 50
I'm gonna
minutes.
say, from what I can tell, none, because y'all are just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna go with none.
An hour. I go.
Someone's trying to get a special night out of this. Someone's trying to get a special night out of it.
30 minutes, 5 hours.
Share a Subway sandwich and watch Netflix.
Just normal places shorter.
If you average it out, it's got to be a couple of hours.
An hour and a half.
I reckon 45 minutes.
45?
Okay, is it just makeup or is it hair and the whole 9 years? It just says makeup.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's like a whole day, right?
Yeah, we're done.
Where do we go?
Where do we go? An hour for me.
Hour.
I'll say about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. I'd say
I've done special effects makeup that doesn't take that long. So
3 hours.
3 hours.
3.
This is the money maker.
Matt, you are the closest, Matt. 38 minutes. It is
Okay.
38 minutes on average.
Gary said 40.
Okay. Yeah,
That sounds like a waste of 40 minutes.
Where did they get these facts from? I don't believe it.
I can't even do my makeup at 38 minutes, and I don't wear any.
Mama, is that Mama Marty behind you?
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
He wears makeup. Don't let him lie to you.
No, I know. You can tell by his eyes.
Your mum.
He takes the longest.
He's got the greatest lashes.
What? Go one more. What is the most common answer given when children are asked, "What do your parents do to embarrass you?"
Live, exist.
She should know this answer. Like, really? I'm walking in at this moment right now.
Well, yeah. Marty's mom is like, well, my son is on this show every Friday.
Yeah.
I want to laugh.
My hair.
Laugh.
Deaf?
Oh, Jesus, that's not an answer. I didn't expect
Those
it.
are your friends.
Yeah.
What was it?
So what the question is, when children are asked, "What do your parents do to embarrass you?" What's the most common answer?
Oh, talk about sex.
So if you ask your child, "What do you do to embarrass you?" What's the most common answer?
There you go. It worked.
What'd she say?
That I mean, yes, maybe. That's a U.S. thing. I don't think they do.
Kiss them in public.
Yeah,
that was gonna be my answer.
I'm not saying.
No, I thought it's something
You're not
similar.
saying. Go on, say it.
It came out my foo-foo.
Wait, what is a foo-foo? Hold on. This is bringing up other questions.
Good luck, Amy. Explain now.
What is foo? What is okay? What is foo-foo?
Google it. Google it.
Phil is just like, I'm done.
Googling it. You might want to delete your history after.
I'm actually gonna Google that right now.
Don't go to images.
You got this.
What is it?
I'm doing it too.
I'm getting a food.
It's a food. It's a food group.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
You know, what does food? What does foo-foo mean in English?
Or if you came out of
What
it.
does foo-foo mean in slang?
Oh, now I got it.
What?
Okay.
Oh, God.
That's not. We don't.
I'm sorry, still coming up with something.
The say over here in said.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah.
She Googled it. What do they call it in England? She says it still come up with something dough-like.
Something don't like. You can talk about it.
I'm so tempted not
Some
to say
people
it
call
right
it
now.
pom pom. Some people call it pom pom.
Pom pom.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Wait,
this show
no.
is,
Oh, the other side.
Well, yes.
oh my god!
Hey,
What
you said I was going to say sex.
Damn, you guys are getting me watery eyed.
Oh, there's something on here how to eat fufu.
Well, I'm trying to do
Dude.
Oh, I get it.
On that
I like Marty.
Now you guys can fire me. I'm quitting.
Let's do a show which is Marty Mum on Google.
Dave,
I'm
let's just say
quitting.
that.
This is my last show. I'm never coming back.
We're really coming down the
Oh my god! Oh my god! Anyway,
Matt says hug, kiss him in public.
yeah,
Yeah, we're just gonna everybody go with that answer.
yeah, we're gonna go with that.
that.
All right.
And I thought walking in public was bad enough.
16% of children said that singing was the most embarrassing.
Singing.
Followed by dad
Singing?
dancing.
By what?
Dad dancing is followed in second.
Dad
Singing and then
dancing.
dad
I'm dancing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do that to my kids quite a bit, so
Oh,
I can see that.
Your father.
Yeah.
Jesus, you know what to end the show, don't you?
You started off.
Dude, it ended on the first question. It was
Yeah, first question. I was like, ugh.
I gotta get that fine balance, you see. You gotta get that-
Yeah, you went.
All right,
I brought it back up.
all right. We'll be back on the show.
I want to hear Dave and Carrie's conversation after the show is over. I would pay money to be a fly on the wall for that one.
Oh my god! All right, guys, but it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute cracking show. You guys are joining us, Drew, Phil, and John. Thank you so much. Obviously, Sheila, for making your appearance. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Always a pleasure to see you. And Kerry, of course.
Yay!
Always a pleasure having you on. Guys in the chat, thank you so much for watching. We have been reading your comments, although we may not have mentioned you all. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week, next Friday, with
Rick
Nick.
McCallum. I was just talking with him last night. He just wanted
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Sorry, I got super excited.
Drew, Philip, John, do you guys know who he is, or Rick
I've heard the
McCallum?
name, but yeah, I'm that busy. Generally,
Yeah, I know.
I don't even watch any live streams.
Yeah, Rick McCallum, just to give a quick description, I mean, he is a paranormal investigator, but he's written a couple of books. But before he got into the paranormal subject, he also has been a stuntman for a lot of horror films of the 80s and 90s for movies like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I know he was also in one of the I think he was in one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. He was also in House 2. So he was in a lot of movies of the 80s and 90s.
All right.
He also has a really good sense of humor. So I know he'll be joking with us a lot. He always has these funny stories, and he has great stories about what his experiences were like when he was on sets. He's awesome, though. I mean, I'm really excited that we were able to get him on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cracking show, that one, definitely.
Nick, what's his name?
His name's Rick McCallum.
Rick McCallum, yeah.
Yeah, in front of him. That's the one I was talking to yesterday.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that? Wait, what were you saying, Drew?
I was speaking to him yesterday.
Oh, you spoke to him yesterday? Oh, wow, that's funny. Because I was talking to him last night.
Literally yesterday.
Wow.
Oh, Tuna misses Barry. Yeah, Barry will be back.
Yeah, Barry will be back. Don't worry.
Barry will be back.
We'll have Barry back, definitely.
That's brilliant.
We'll try and we're going to film another video this weekend with the dolls. Hopefully, we get something out there. Obviously, our last video was Marty. We need to definitely chat about that at some point. We could have potentially got some poltergeist activity, and some of the responses we got through the spirit box are pretty insane. So definitely check it out, guys. And obviously, everyone else's pages, when Amy's put them on the description, please check them out and support them. They're fantastic guys, and what they do with them on their own shows is amazing. So please check it out.
See, Tui knows.
Yeah. So have a great week. We'll see you next Friday. We love you all, and we're out of here. Catch you later.
Bye.
you.